Okay, what it do, football fans? Yo, can somebody please explain this to me? Because we got to start a conversation about Brazil, man. Because as somebody who is a big fan of the Brazil national team, yes, I am very fond of the Brazil national football team as a Westerner, as an American. What doesn't make sense to me is how the hell has Brazil gone from being, World Cup champions? Because if you guys remember, it's been exactly already, what, this year, 21 years since Brazil last won a World Cup. How the hell does Brazil go from being a very incredible footballing powerhouse that just, is able to be very creative with football, that is just able to be very, just entertaining, entertain, the fans and, just find ways to win? How does Brazil go from that, from being a very feared team at World Cups to a team where it seems like they are always one and done in the World Cup knockouts? Whenever, there's the knockouts, whenever there's the World Cup group stages, first of all, and when the group stages conclude, and when it's time for Brazil to play some team, whether it's, I don't know, Croatia, Belgium, France, it always seems like Brazil is always won and done in World Cup knockouts games. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because, from the time Brazil won its World Cup in 2002, and by the way, I was 5 years old when Brazil last won the World Cup, because it seems like to me that oppositional teams have figured out how to beat Brazil at the World Cup. And that's the crazy part, is because, Brazil, they used to be that footballing nation that would just strike fear into oppositional teams, no matter who they faced, no matter who they had, whether it was the legend himself, Pele, Ronaldinho, Prime R9, whether it was Jairzinho, if that's how you pronounce his name, whether it was Garrincha. Can't forget about Garrincha as well. And speaking of Garrincha, I think Garrincha deserves a lot of credit for Pele's success with Brazil, if you want to know my honest opinion. There's Garrincha, there's Juninho, even though, well, there's Juninho, arguably, in my opinion, the greatest free kick taker of all time, because, everybody wants to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Lionel Messi, Andrea Pirlo, but in my honest opinion, the greatest free kick taker will always be Juninho, just because you have to look at his free kick conversion percentage and then come back and talk to me, because nobody had a better free kick conversion percentage, in my opinion, than Juninho. And you can look up the stats, because a lot of people probably might not know who Juninho is. And that's really sad, because Juninho, as a free kick taker, he could take free kicks literally from anywhere on the football pitch, and he could just score them just like that. That's what made Juninho, in my opinion, the greatest free kick taker of all time. So just so many great Brazilian players, man. And, you thought that Neymar would also have a World Cup trophy to his name by now and be up there with all the other greats, Ricardo Kaká as well, Ronaldinho, Pele, Brazil players that have mainly won the World Cup trophy, because obviously there's also Brazil players that have never ever won the World Cup trophy, no matter their talent and all that. But still, man, I just feel like that Neymar, he, in my opinion, I thought that by now he would have a World Cup trophy to his name, but that's not the case. And especially this past World Cup, how Brazil, lost against Croatia. It just seems like that Brazil, they never make it. The furthest they have made it, I think, was like, to the semifinals in 2014, where we all know what happened. That game where Germany just came in and just completely just crushed Brazil 7-1, man. That will always be the most shocking football result for me ever in all my years of being a football fan. And it really doesn't make sense to me how the hell Brazil have declined so much as a footballing nation from 2002, because obviously back then, 2002, I was like, 5 years old, just barely in, I think I was in kindergarten back then, or yeah, I think I was still in preschool back then. Yeah, I still think I was in preschool. So, I don't have like any memory of witnessing Brazil win a, World Cup, because back then I wasn't really a football fan. I didn't start watching football until 2010. That's when I really became a, very staunch follower of football. And it just is crazy to me that Brazil have really that Brazilian football has really fallen below. It's just shocking to me, because, 2006, obviously Brazil, they lost to France in the knockouts. 2010, lose to the Netherlands. 2014, there was that game against Germany where Brazil got literally just crushed by Germany in their own house, in their own freaking stadium where they were hosting the World Cup. Yeah, They got crushed by Germany 7-1. How the hell does that happen, man? I have no idea how in the bloody hell that happens. Then 2018, I picked Brazil to win the World Cup in 2018. I thought they were probably mostly going to be the team that could maybe challenge that France team. But, of course, you know, knockouts, they lose to Belgium 2-1. This year, I think to myself, maybe Brazil can, you know, at the 2022 World Cup finally break that World Cup drought. But no, they bottle it on penalties to Croatia. That's right. So, I mean, really, what the hell has happened to Brazilian football these last, what, 20 years now, okay? Because it's been 21 years since Brazil has last won a World Cup, and just seeing Brazil decline as a footballing nation is sad to me. And that's the question. Has Brazil declined as a footballing nation these past 20 years or no? Because something tells me that Brazil has kind of, in a way, now, don't get me wrong, Brazil, they're still going to be World Cup contenders, but I just feel like in terms of, you know, talent and quality, you know, of players that can deliver in big games, that's where I feel like Brazil has really declined. And it's really sad because, you know, this current Brazilian football generation with Neymar, well, it depends if he's going to be here for the 2026 World Cup, because I think I've read somewhere where Neymar said he wants to retire after the 2022 World Cup. So that's going to be interesting to see whether Neymar is still going to be representing Brazil for the 2026 World Cup or no. But yeah, man, just seeing Brazil decline as a footballing nation at the World Cups is extremely sad because, you know, Brazil's the reason, one of the reasons why what makes watching international football so freaking fun is just their creativity, just the way how they deliver the ball. That's what makes watching international football very fun besides club football, whether it's Copa America, the World Cup, and now it just seems like right now we are at that point in time where Brazil, they've kind of declined as a footballing nation. I feel like in terms of, you know, delivering when it matters the most. Yeah, Brazil, they always at World Cups find new ways to lose. Losing 7-1 to Germany, just not being able to show up defensively when it matters the most, or balling it against Croatia on penalties 2-1. I mean, yeah, balling it 4-2 on penalties against Croatia, man. So really, Brazil, their decline as a footballing nation is, in my opinion, one of the saddest stories ever in football. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic here in this video, but seriously, man, just Brazil, bro. What the heck happened these last 20 years with Brazil at World Cups, you know? Because they used to be so dominant, you know? They used to strike fear into oppositional teams, but now it seems like that at World Cups, oppositional teams have figured out how to beat Brazil. So that's just really shocking to me. Thought I had to get this video out the way, so that's about it. See ya.